we are live. Let's see who joins. I hope everybody's having an excellent day, excellent night. Let's give it a few minutes. Let's see who joins. Here to talk about Freemasonry. Any thoughts you have on Freemasonry, positive, negative, or neutral? I'd love to hear them. It's going to be probably a shorter stream, but I did say it'd come on at 1 a.m. So, as I'm knocking stuff over here, let's give it a couple minutes. 1 a.m. live stream. Let's talk about Freemasonry. All right, this light is pissing me off here. All right, there we go. By the way, George Washington won, so that's fun between George Washington and FDR. It was George Washington considered the winning or most popular Masonic president. A cold evening indeed. All right, first person, what's the secret? I do. Or I did, excuse me, watch the Simpsons episode of Freemasons. Called Homer the Great. It's actually a great episode, in my opinion, one of the better ones. I think it's every Mason's favorite. Simpsons episode by far. Which makes sense. It's pretty great. All right, let's get a bit of time. Let's see who joins. Answer the poll question. That's my cat down here causing trouble. It's going to be a short live stream, but I'll be doing more soon, I promise. Or longer live streams again shortly. We're going to give it a couple minutes. We're going to see who joins. We got one yes, I believe. Welcome, if you're just joining us. Please take a moment, jump in the chat, say hello, hit that like and subscribe button. Here chatting about Freemasonry, 1 a.m. live stream. So any thoughts you have on Freemasonry, positive, negative, or neutral, I'd love to hear them. For some reason, though, my chats are not coming through. Oh, there we go. Trump is not a Freemason, nor was Epstein, so you're wrong on both accounts. Hello, traveling man. Thank you for being here. I heard about that, Dad. Thank you for sending me the email. I've never heard about that before, but I am a big believer in organ donations, so that is awesome that they are celebrating through or showing it off or promoting it through green shirts. I'm a big believer that every Freemason and everyone in general should be an organ donor. Freemasons are not on the list, the Loch Ness Monster. There are no, to my knowledge, Freemasons who are on the list. The one exception I can think of is Bill Clinton. He's not a Freemason. He was a De Molay member, but he's not a Freemason. Well, when I pass away, if you are on the organ donation list, then maybe you'll get some organs. However, Calling people dork strikes me as you're the type of person who um, is probably not a very good human being. So, not that it matters when it comes to organ donation, I don't think it matters. But you seem like not a good person. Um, that is a test, as actually the word shibboleth, you find it in the West Wing episode. I think it's called shibboleth, actually. It's a very good episode. It does in the context of asking somebody for their organs. That makes you pretty bad. I don't mean by trying to send an email, just send an email. Wait to see what the response is. Well, that's not why you sell organs. That's not why you donate organs, right? It's not about making money from it. It's about trying to help somebody else who is in need. I do like sci-fi shows. I like, I mean, growing up, I loved Star Trek: The Next Generation. That was one of my favorite shows. I also enjoyed Deep Space Nine. I remember this show about like a submarine that explored the ocean. I really enjoyed. But as I got older, it switched over. Really, the type of shows I enjoy now are all horror related or scary related. Um, nice stretch, 11. I hope that you had a great day or having a great day. Maybe it did de-evolve. I liked Westworld actually. I thought it was really good. I always really enjoyed Westworld. I thought it was very underrated because I think even though it's science fiction, it had enough of a horror edge to it that I really enjoyed it. I'll take it. Most people say I'm really ugly, so I'll take normal looking over what most people say about me and how I look. MMT Traveling Man, how's it going for you? I hope you're doing well. Thank you for being here. I hope that you're having an excellent night. Well, San, I'm more concerned with talking about Freemasonry as opposed to talking about dental hygiene, but nonetheless, thank you for being here. I hope you're doing well. I hope everybody watching this is having an excellent, excellent day. No, they do not. Freemasonry is not a religion of any sort. I would say any group that claims you can make yourself a god, define that as you will, probably on some level is religious. Well, that's definitely not true, uh, Jagvir, but okay. By the way, 19 votes. Interesting enough, no is higher than yes. So that'd be the opposite way. 58% say social media does not stigmatize mental health, and 42% says it does. I mean, no, we do not. That's also not why you join Freemasonry to get any kind of perks or benefits. There may be brothers in a Masonic lodge who, I don't know, owns the convenience store and will give Masons a discount, like Friends and Found discount, but it just depends on the brother in general, right? It's not a requirement that he does so, and in my experience, it's rarely the case. It just depends, though. There is no formal discounts. It'd have to be brother to brother type of thing. And none of those discounts should ever, for example, be anything that would otherwise be illegal or wrong or anything like that. But there may be times when, I don't know, a brother's a mechanic and he agrees to help fix somebody's car for a cheaper rate, but that's no different than what you do for a friend, right? Being a Freemason increases the number of friends you have, it increases your social circle, and as a consequence, by default, it can at different times increase, the people willing to do you a favor if you need it. But that's true for having, you get the same benefits, quote unquote benefits, from joining a football team or a knitting club or anything else. No, call me Cameron. I have no idea what that means, Mr. Case, but okay. All right, Jagveer. Sure. I mean, people will talk outside of lodge meetings. It depends, again, on a variety of circumstances, but there's certainly no rule that says Freemasons have to talk exclusively within lodge meetings. It just depends on what's happening within their lives and any social events the lodge organizes, anything like that. Okay, stop Clementine. That's a really interesting way to look at it and a very interesting point. So maybe it does actually help people with mental health issues. I think it maybe depends also on the person with the mental health issues and how they're feeling at the time, right? Because that's a big factor as well in it. You are welcome, Stop Clementine. I mean, most people are on your side on this. Not actually, right now it's really close. Yes is slightly in the lead at 52% to 48%. It can be really hard to express how you feel about socializing. So no worries, or express how you feel about socializing. Well, the other order I think that you're thinking of is Scottish Rite primarily. Um, but it could be emulation you're speaking of. I mean, they're different rites. They focus on different things within the order. York Rite tends to take more of its history from the traditions of the Knights Temple and Middle Ages and chivalry and chivalric orders. Um, while Abdul, want to be really careful what you hear when it comes to the internet. I've been a Freemason for 20 years. I can tell you it is not evil. It is, I suppose, a club. So at least you could say that's correct, but it is not evil. The extent to which it's good is dependent on every single member and how they choose to make it good. Well, there's always going to be a difference between the way people act within a lodge and without a lodge, but that's true for everybody, not just in Freemasonry, right? Freemasonry tries to encourage the best parts of humanity, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to be hypocritical at times when it comes to being Freemasons. That's just human nature, right? I wouldn't say it's that inside the lodge we're one way and outside the lodge we're the other way. It's more that sometimes we fall short of Masonic ideals, but that doesn't mean those ideals aren't worth fighting for or those ideals aren't worth pursuing. I've used this example before, but um, George Washington and the founding fathers wrote, "We hold these truths to be self-evident: all men are created equal," while at the same time owning slaves. And so that doesn't mean that there's not a great value to the Declaration of Independence and a great value to those words. It just means that people are not always able, unfortunately, to live up to or otherwise um, meet the standards which they set for themselves. But it's still a value in trying, and there's still a value in effort. So the gamesman, join and find out. If you want to know, just join Freemasonry and find out. Well, making assumption is never a good idea. Um, so never make assumptions. Well, I mean, debt is can create a type of slavery for sure, or it can make you feel like you're enslaved. That's very possible. But a good way to avoid that is trying to, as much as you can, make good financial decisions and try to find within, or around you a good social safety net to help you in times of difficulty. Like, for example, Freemasonry, which can help those struggling. Um, it can provide financial support to brothers in need so they don't have to go into debt. Well, you can contact me through my website, squareandcompass.ca, and then I'll let you know. Aleister Crowley, overrated in when people talk about his importance to Freemasonry, his quote unquote importance. There's a very good likelihood he was never an actual Mason, but clandestine. Um, well, I hope I'm not going to die in a fire. Squareandcompass.ca, right? All one word, squareandcompass.ca. You should find it. There's a contact us section. Yes, my lodge does. Many lodges do, many do not. However, in my opinion, it's really important that if you have a Masonic building, not a lodge is a group of people, but you have a Masonic building, that building is as compliant with accessibility regulations as necessary. I don't know what that means. There'd probably be as many Masons as there are any other type of people or person. I'm not sure that's true. If I recall correctly, the concern was Aleister Crowley joined probably a clandestine lodge in yeah, he claimed to get the 33rd degree in Mexico, but none of them are recognized by the United Grand Lodge of England. My point is, I'm highly questionable of how legitimate his Masonic career is. Well, did you hit the like and subscribe button, Saint Jonito? Because that's more important than anything else. We're going to give this stream another, let's say, 10 minutes. It's going to be a really short stream. I will be doing longer streams again tomorrow. But this is going to be a shorter stream just because I'm still recovering from my very fun, very enjoyable trip to Chicago and Ann Arbor. Well, just because somebody's known to be something doesn't mean he is, in fact, that thing. And a lot of people don't understand what it means to be known to be a Freemason, for the record. I'll have some longer streams coming up soon. Don't worry. I'll have some longer streams coming up soon. There is no benefit to knowing if there, I'm not going to say if there are or not, for the record, any Masonic passwords or grips or tokens or words, modes of recognition, those things. The benefit is it's a shared piece of knowledge that creates a social connection and a bond between brothers, right? That's the nature of any type of shared experiences within Freemasonry, or shared knowledge. There's two ways to create bonds between people: shared knowledge or shared experiences. Masonic ritual provides both. Well, Henry Viff is an important figure within Freemasonry, probably apocryphal or legendary, did not actually really exist. Exactly. As Mary Heat says, it's like a family recipe you don't want to share with everyone. YouTube, that's a weird thing to say. Freemasons don't choose to be anything other than what they are. So if you're Jewish and you become a Freemason, then you're a Jewish Freemason. If you're Muslim, then you're Muslim. If you're Christian, then you're Christian. We're not choosing to be of a different religion or ethnicity. That's a foolish thing to say, right? Because you are a very foolish person, YouTube's top guy. Probably a very stupid person. I don't know who Kurt Bilston is. Mark Sefton. You can troll me if you want, since I'm streaming, and part of streaming is dealing with trolls and dealing with stupid people, but maybe leave the Masons alone. I got a big nose. What can I say? Or you mean this? I just got a scratch on it. It happens. As people point out, it's a very big nose, which means it gets scratches more. Look up Mason bees. Yes, trolls are going to troll. I mean, I would believe they work very hard. And the beehive is important within Freemasonry, by the way. Bees and beehives are very important to Masonic symbolism, primarily in the States. It represents industriousness and hard work. But they do. The benefit of Mason's bees are that they are excellent pollinators, 120 times more effective than honeybees or bumblebees. Interesting. Mason bee, the gentle Mason bee. I'll see if I can maybe do an episode about that. Hello. I hope it's going well. Thank you for being here. No, the Masons can believe in whatever they want to believe in, legend Jesus. You can be Jewish, you can be Christian, you can be Muslim, you can be Hindu, Sikh, you can be Wiccan, you can be like me. They all believe in a different supreme being, right? I have no idea. A voice down under, that sounds like baloney to me. Uh, you get, if you're a Mason and you pass away, you get to be buried wherever the family so wants you to be buried, or whether you expressed in your final wishes. So I have no idea what you're talking about, but that seems like bullshit. Um, no, you shouldn't feel rejected if you you shouldn't feel bad if you are not accepted into the lodge. You should just try again later. It could mean any number of things, right? You don't take it personally. As a general rule, you never take things personally, right? There could be a good reason why someone was rejected during the interview process. Maybe the lodge just felt that the person at the time wasn't ready to join. He had too many other things on his plate, which he needed to focus on instead of focusing on joining Freemasonry. Um, well, a felon, not a felony, a felon can, sure, it depends on what the felony was, when it happened, how long ago it was, things of that nature. So, what I always tell people is if you have a felony, um, first of all, don't let that stop you from applying, but also be honest with the lodge, explain how you came about the felony, what happened, how you've tried to change, how you've tried to create a better version of yourself, how you've tried to make amends to society, and let the lodge decide. Certainly, the more significant and severe the criminal offense is or was, the greater burden of proof will be on you to demonstrate that you've changed, and you have to go from there. But you can still apply and express your interest in joining, explain what happened, what the felony is, and you go from there. Um, Freemasonry is not a subset of Christianity. Freemasonry is not a subset of any religion. Freemasonry is not a religion. Um, right? Freemasonry is not a religion. Usually, YouTube doesn't let people share GoFundMe links. If you want to send me an email, I'll take a look at it. Again, you can contact me through squareandcompass.ca. Well, if you're banned from the US, that might have been a pretty significant criminal offense. I don't know, Scottish Rebel. Please hit like and subscribe. I do not know what culture is. Thoughts on LGBTQ community? I mean, I have no issue with the LGBTQ community. They're people like any other community, and I wish them nothing but the best. There are some Masons who are part of the LGBTQ community, and they're my brethren, no different than anybody else. It is not a religion. Freemasonry is not a religion. It occupies a completely different space, right? Religions are, again, Christianity, Judaism, Islam. They occupy the religious space. Freemasonry occupies the civic or civil space, or really more the civic or community space. What's wrong with that, first person Victoria? First person Victoria, you seem like a bad human being. Um, if somebody was trans and they were sitting next to me in lodge, who am I to judge them? Or who am I to claim that they're not my brother? Um, right? Who is one to make those judgments? Or why do you get to make those judgments? Seems like more the better question. It says, what's the point of Freemasonry? It's a civic group. It's a club. What's the point of getting together with your friends on a Friday night? What's the point of getting together, doing something in a group that you could do alone? What's the point of joining a bowling league? You could just as easily bowl by yourself. Human beings, since the dawn of time, have always wanted to form groups, form clubs. It's the same impetus that guides us as kids. Freemasonry, it's a formalized version of a guy's night out or a girl's night out. There's female Freemasons as well. It's a club, it's a social group. It evolved from stone mason guilds of the Middle Ages in the 15th and 16th centuries. Originally, it was a social group. Originally, it was a profession and a trade guild that evolved and formed into a social club and a social group. It has formalized meetings and rituals and ceremonies, none of which are religious, all of which are designed to create bonds of brotherhood through shared experiences. But ultimately, what's the point of getting together with your friends on a Friday night? You know? Well, that's a weird thing to do, Satan. You should not do that. I mean, that's very stupid the way it's experienced. Many things that are not religious do rituals. That may be the dumbest thing said on this channel. And as somebody who's been streaming for a long time and seen a lot of dumb things, that might be the stupidest, dumbest statement. I mean, football teams have rituals. Waking up in the morning and how you put your shoes on, you could argue, is a type of ritual. Stock traders have rituals before they trade. Surgeons and doctors will have rituals before they start surgery. So D4, I mean, really, within a Masonic lodge, the makeup of the lodge, religious, social, and anything in between, is reflective of the community in which it meets. So if a Masonic lodge meets in a community that's majority Christian, a majority of the lodge will be Christian. If a Masonic lodge meets in a community, the majority of which is Muslim, the majority of the lodge will be Muslim. It really just depends. Rituals may or may not be specifically derived from religion. I would highly question that. Maybe etymologically, but certainly many groups do rituals that are not religious. Again, stock traders, football teams, sports teams in general, sports fans in general, right? Wearing your favorite team's jersey on the game day is a ritual. Okay, so when a sports team, like a rugby team, starts off the game with a dance, right, with a traditional dance, is that not a ritual? I forget what it's called now, but like rugby teams do it, especially in the South. Um, you have rituals, sure. I mean, the way you wake up in the morning, and you can call it a ritual or a routine. Ultimately, what I would say is, by the same token, you could call most religious ceremonies routines. Well, you can't really be 33rd degree plus, and wanting to be 33rd degree is kind of a silly goal. You should want to be a third degree Mason first and foremost, and then try to be the best Mason you can be. And from there, focus on or think about the appendant bodies. All right, first person Victoria, you're a weird person. Right? But just focus on trying to be the best Mason you can be at whatever degree you are. I know that sounds trite, but believe me, it's true. Just focus on being the best Mason you can be at whatever degree you are instead of worrying about advancement, right? That's not the most important thing. All right, guys, this has been fun. However, I'm going to end this stream because we're half an hour. I don't want to do a short stream. I'll be back on tomorrow, though, or today, technically, at 1 p.m. Well, that's fine. You can think whatever you want, the weights, but you're incorrect. But you get to think whatever you want, I suppose. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Thank you so much. I'll be back on 1 p.m. All right, see you soon. Thank you so much.